Okay, here we go. Okay, can you see and hear everything fine? Okay, good. Okay, hey everybody, we are going to talk today about how partnering with your child's caregiver supports healthy development. And I am so lucky today to have Chrissy Mulbauer here from Ponce City Market, who works with the infants, and Rachel Skinner from Northside, who's a toddler teacher, and Roxana Vidici. Did I say your name correctly, Roxana?
Yes,
your last
very
name.
good.
Okay, yay, good. From Buckhead, and is a primary teacher. And this is just a really important topic, and I think it's such an important part of our partnership, with parents. And I have a little information I want to share with you today, and then I want to get to the important part about, sharing your ideas and any, questions or challenges or anything that comes up to support that partnership between parents and teachers and between school and home. In any school, communication between teachers and parents is definitely necessary, and it's a critical part of a successful classroom. That strong communication is essential in linking the home and school environments of the child, and of course, building that working relationship, connecting the teacher and the parents. There is research about building relationships based on trust and respect. And it's definitely been found to improve communication between teachers and parents. The one takeaway that I found from this literature was that frequent, honest, and personal communication between the teachers and the parents really helped build that trust. I mean, you don't automatically have that right in any relationship. It's those small, frequent conversations over time that make a difference and build that relationship. And it holds true in all of our relationships in life. The terms, like parent engagement and homeschool connection, they're really boiled down to relationship. And we know, of course, as parents and educators, that it's, produces some stress and some anxiety, and thinking about, taking this precious person, the most important person in your life, to a school environment and trusting that they're well taken care of, they're receiving quality learning opportunities, they're being prepared for life, they're, that you have this trust and faith that your child is being respected and honored for who they are. We also, as parents, have to put ourselves in each other's shoes. At school, there's a structure and a prepared environment within a consistent daily schedule. There's a rhythm to the day, expectations, and teachers, they're managing many different children with many different needs, learning styles, and many different personalities. And then we, know that parents are juggling those morning schedules that can be challenging. And, so sharing in that, and then also, they go home at the end of the day and hopefully they're a good tired, but sometimes that it can contribute to being cranky and have, a little different evening routine. So what does this relationship look like? What does a good, solid relationship look like? The survey answers revealed a wide range of beliefs and values. Parents reported feeling overwhelmed and thinking about the education system, thinking about the future and educating their children, and that starts from a very early age. Sometimes parents report that they don't receive information on a regular basis, or they perceive that they don't have a strong connection with the teachers. In these surveys, educators reported a sense that sometimes they felt that parents are overcommitted and they see that stress, or that they're sometimes anxious. And and that sometimes parents may have unrealistic expectations of the teachers. These disconnects and misperceptions can be a problem when it comes to, a healthy relationship, or somewhat of a challenge. So we want to build a solid foundation, just like a plant, preparing that soil and planting the seed, watering frequently, watching it grow. So parents, when parents can share information about their children as they come into school, and even from the very beginning, sharing about their pregnancy, about the birth history, any medical history, anything pertinent. And then along the way, on a daily basis, their likes, their dislikes, their communication style, any significant changes in their life. And I know the teachers will speak to this more, because sometimes things that we perceive are small have a big impact on a child and their day. So if you're not sure how much information to share, definitely for parents, erring on the side of over communicating can be really, really helpful. The teachers are definitely better able to support your child when they have a deeper understanding of knowing who they are, their strengths, their emotional needs, their challenges, their sensitivities. And for teachers, it's really important, if you're not sure how much to share, again, like erring on the side of over communicating, and remembering to listen, to invite feedback from parents, making sure that parents, that you feel like your concerns are heard and that you're working together to support each other. And sometimes, having those frequent, small, meaningful conversations, something new comes out of that each time, something of value, something that's heard and understood. And, in Montessori, we have, the transparent classroom, but transparency in discussing concerns, explaining the Montessori environment, and encouraging, parent involvement where we can. There are definitely going to be speed bumps along the way, but when we have this foundation, they don't need to be obstacles. So a positive parent-teacher relationship helps children succeed in and feel good about school. So much so that the literature actually stated, when we have a really positive relationship between teacher and parents, that this is so powerful that it boosts achievement and developmental outcomes. Some of the parents, one of the ideas that I wanted to share that I thought was a nice idea from a parent was creating a portfolio from when your children are little, and organizing by learning areas. If you ever have testing or any assessments, special notes from teachers, snips of art and interest, thoughts, ideas, questions from you, and build on this as your child moves through school. So you can use this as a tool to see your child through a different lens, and as a nice reflection tool to step back. And as you're making decisions about your child's education, that you're also looking at making those decisions from this lens of who your child is and what their particular needs are. As well as, this can be a really nice keepsake, on their kind of little education journey. And it can also create an action plan for supporting a child, in the short term and the long term. Just a couple more things for parents. Prepare for your conferences, and by all means request a meeting if you have any concerns in between conferences. Never wait for a conference if you have questions or concerns. I think we're pretty good at that. What are your child's strengths? What do they gravitate to? What, if anything, do they avoid? What are some of your concerns? What do you want to know more about? What surprises you? Do the assessments match the quality of work your child has created or displays at home? And just follow your gut. As a parent, you know your child best. Know your goal, which should be to lead with a clear understanding of where your child is emotionally and academically, as well as a clear action plan based on these thoughtful discussions. And then just finally for the teachers, just again, the communication is by far the biggest factor in supporting a good relationship between the school and parents. And, just communicating early and often, getting more information than you think you need, paying attention to the details, getting to know the parents, building that relationship so that if you have to have any tough conversations, that you have the trust and connection to talk through it. Of course, we would like to be visiting in person as much as possible. And right now is, unfortunately, we have our little deterrent to that with the coronavirus. But phone calls and Zoom calls are another great platform to keep that communication going. And with that, I want to let the teachers kind of share their thoughts, on this. Any questions that you have as parents? And I'm just going to kind of segue, into that. Any thoughts come to mind for you guys that you just wanted to share in general terms?
If you allow me, I would like to say thank you to all the parents for the way children wear their masks in primary levels. They are amazing. They understand the meaning, they are very cautious where they put them. It's already a tremendous success of collaboration between parents and teachers in this situation, keeping everybody safe. So I will just start with saying thank you. We already collaborate very well.
I was going to add something. The biggest thing for me, like Aileen said at the beginning, I work in the infants room. So I'm usually, our classroom or the infant classrooms are usually the first step, the first stop in your child's school journey. So there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of questions. What we've been doing for years makes complete sense to us, but we sometimes get ahead of it and we maybe don't explain it as clearly. So my big thing is always, as a parent, always ask the questions to us. I always tell the parents, there is no stupid question. You heard that when you were in grade school. There is no stupid question. Ask me anything, because 1 ounce of prevention, 1 ounce of us explaining why we're doing something can completely put you at ease. Or we can maybe give you a suggestion you hadn't thought of, but like it was said earlier, this is the start of us building our trust. This is starting of you becoming a part of the Suzuki family, so that we see you guys at every step of the way. And as teachers, I think we all feel that we want you to know that we are always open. We are always ready to answer questions. It's really weird now. So I've done Zoom calls. We do a lot of emails, the transparent classroom, and just phone conversations. Because we can't do the day-to-day at the door. We're missing out on a lot of that. We have to find a way to make sure that we're building our relationship.
Thanks, Chrissy. I thought somebody maybe had a question. How are you guys communicating, with the toddler group, Rachel, with your parents?
So at the beginning of the semester, I really like to make a point to always ask the parents what their preferred method of communication is. For some, it may be transparent classroom every day. For others, it might be Instagram, might be text or email. But I always tell the parents just to be upfront about what works best for them, because we're all on different schedules. Some of us are back to work and some of us are at home. So it helps to know what the best way to reach them is. My thing about communication is definitely, like you mentioned, Miss Aileen, things that may seem small. For example, if a student is coming in with shoes that they might not particularly care for, can make a huge difference in their day. Later, they don't feel like putting their shoes on before they go outside. So it turned into an integral piece of information later in the day. So definitely oversharing is my policy. I think that finding common ground between caregivers, not only as teacher to parent, but also as people. So if I see that you're wearing a Georgia Tech shirt, I might say, oh, my husband went to Georgia Tech. Unfortunately, now that's harder, that we're not seeing the parents during drop off and pickup. But I do a lot of the Zoom. I have virtual office hours, and I love when parents make the most of that, even if it's just to pop on and share those celebratory moments as well as those challenges. I love hearing those I did it moments as they happen at home and in school.
Yeah, I hear you both saying that all those little things, and I kind of love what you said as well, Chrissy, about the ounce of prevention. And, you know, what you're saying, Rachel, and sharing, you know, even the smallest things that, and it is a challenge to do that, you know, right now. I'm presuming that, you know, that either party is reaching out, you know, via email or a phone call gets, you know, sent to the classroom, you know, with a message of scheduling a time, you know, to visit. I would love to hear, you know, from any of you, you all as parents, you know, if you're feeling like that's, you know, going well, if you're feeling more disconnected, you know, if you have, you know, concerns or you feel like, okay, we're doing the best we can and we feel, you know, like things are going pretty well. Could anybody speak to that? Any of our parents? Okay, I'm going to presume that you guys all feel really, really supported and that communication is going well.
I did have a question, or I did have a comment. Hey,
Okay.
my name is Deborah. My son Bryant is in pre-primary, and he has been super happy so far. But we moved up from toddler to pre-primary with coming back to school in July, and I do think that's been hard for me and my husband some, just about the whole communication, that I've never seen the classroom. I haven't gotten to meet teachers in person. And, you know, I don't know, I know I'm personally struggling with that. And I know they have very active kids all day long. And I know that he's clearly being very well taken care of and learning a ton just from what we're seeing at home. But I'm not sure that I know a lot about what's going on in a day-to-day basis. So I've tried to email some, but I know that they're really busy, and just kind of was interested to hear how other teachers have been communicating with parents and how that's been going from their end and how they're feeling too.
What campus are you at?
I'm at Buckhead. I'm sorry, okay. I'm at Northside. I had a brain fart there. I apologize.
Where am I? I don't know. Okay. So we normally every year I'm at Penn City Market, and we do a sip and stroll. I'm not sure if the other campuses do that, where the parents come back in the evening and go through the classes. And I don't know what the other campuses are doing, but I know we plan to have a sip and scroll coming up. So it won't give you like the specifics on your child, but it will be like insightful look into the classroom, what we're doing through the day. We usually do that around end of September, beginning of October, once we've gotten into the swing of things, and then just it's more of like a highlight into the classroom. So I'm sure all the campuses are doing something similar, for more of a general overview of the day-to-day in the classroom. Look for the emails.
Yes, I will. Absolutely. Thank you.
That's what kind of came to my mind, was thinking about how the video, sort of a video introduction, not quite the same as in person, but again, that can give you more information about, you know, of course, like you want to see like where they kind of are living each day, see the class, see what everything looks like and what their space is that they're in. So that'll be nice. Since you're at Northside, Rachel, can you speak to that, what you guys are doing?
Yes, I know in my classroom in particular, I'm at pre-primary at Northside, and we set up a YouTube channel. So a great way that the parents get to see inside of the classroom how we're social distancing and doing things like that, as well as what's on the shelf, is we do live circle time. We love to share that, even though, you know, the quarantine is technically over, we're back at school. It's still something that we enjoy doing. And I occasionally every month when I update the shelves, like I just did one yesterday for the seasonal units, I'll send pictures to the parents of the shelves and what the materials actually look like. You know, how the trays are laid out. It tends to come off as very literal, but you know, I don't know what the parents don't know. So I also like to err on the side of caution when it comes to communication, so they can see, you know, where in the classroom their items from Transparent Classroom are actually placed and what the educational goal for each is. You know, in Transparent Classroom, you might see that your child is working with Legos, but if you're, you know, not plugged into the fact that it's part of a movement unit, it might come off as a little bit confusing. So that's how I like to share with my parents. Can't speak for the other pre-primaries, but I definitely am the one that I'm sure my parents unsubscribe from my emails because they get too many.
Those are both such creative, great ideas. Are you guys kind of doing the same, Roxana, or anything?
Our parents, we don't have new children yet move up to primary 3, but our parents are very active with Transparent Classroom and Instagram. And on Instagram, sometimes I put very short videos where it's the whole atmosphere of the classroom flow, or individual children really working very focused on their lessons. But I think virtual tours or Instagram doesn't allow longer movies, but if we can take a video a little longer during the work cycle, it's really the best. Transparent Classroom is very complex and shows explicit all the directions of the lessons, the purpose, the intention. And even if you see your child doing the same lesson over and over, it's something that they need for their self-esteem, for their assurance that they are complete in achievement with that type of work. And of course, communication all the time, a phone call during nap, emails, even texts. Sometimes I help parents having pictures of their child on the phone during work cycle when they ask, because they don't have time or they don't have access to the tablet or the phone or computer.
Yeah, you guys are all so creative, you know, with this. And, you know, I think, you know, the same, you know, holds true, like, so when you do have some concerns and you want to, you know, share a little bit, that, you know, we don't wait. We kind of address those things, you know, quickly so we can manage those hurdles. And that's, you know, kind of my piece and being a part of and bringing everybody together. And I so appreciate the parents, you know, right now and how they've reached out with challenges, you know, at home. And Rachel and I were just saying before the call that COVID has presented, you know, some nice opportunities, but it's also presented some different challenges, you know, sometimes, you know, along the way for parents, you know, and sometimes the changes for the children have just created a little stress and see some differences in their, you know, behavior. So I have definitely appreciated how, you know, how everyone has reached out and we've gotten to talk through, you know, a lot of those things. So I just want to reinforce that I'm here and available to you all at, you know, to schedule and a time and visit, you know, as a team support for your child.
I think just keeping open policy and just invite parents all the time. There are things that you may see at home and we don't see at school, or we see at school and you don't see it at home. Just talk about it, bringing any conversation. And please remember, your children are almost different people around their friends. They will have hard time not copying or copying others, or they will be curious to try things that they never did at home. So even that there are very temporarily behaviors, talking about it or having approaches that they are in unity with what we do at school, it will be very easy to put a stop or to open the eyes to the child in different direction. So it's always a different angle to see things.
Great observations, you know, of things that you guys see. Any other questions or, you know, ideas or anything you want to share, parents or teachers?
Hey, it's Hillary. So something that I used to enjoy reading that seems like it's missing, I don't know if it was from the PVA or maybe it was in the blast, but there used to be a like staff member spotlight. I don't know if it was every week, but it was every so often that there was a little coverage in one of those regular communications of a particular staff member. And, you know, how long he or she had been at the school, what his or her background was. And I think that would help with the connection piece, even if they get repeated, you know, because there's obviously a finite number of people to highlight. But then also along those lines, maybe there could be something in the blast like classroom corner, where there could be a highlighting of an activity from a classroom, or what, you know, if there's a majority of children in that classroom who are working on a specific lesson, maybe that could be kind of highlighted in the blast to give parents a little bit more of a glimpse into what's going on in the classrooms. Or even with the specials like PE, Coach T could do a little blurb on what the exercises were focused around this week, or like what if they played specific games or something like that, or in music, if they're learning about instruments or music from a certain part of the world or certain type of music or something like that, maybe.
Good ideas. I was trying to find my little pen to write some of these down. Because I know you all want to see, you know, pieces of kind of everything that is going on in their day. And the blast is a nice way to share, you know, some of those things. And I know there's so much room in the blast as well, because sometimes we're all kind of wanting to put some things in, but that is, those are some good ideas. Do you guys have any comments on that? You ladies?
We blow up the Instagram, probably to the point where some parents have to turn off their notifications because they're like, oh my goodness, infants say, okay, settle down. But so we have done, you know, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So we did, you know, we've been doing like a spotlight on the teachers, as well as making sure we spotlight some of the newer lessons or the newer accomplishments of the children in our class through the Instagram. I'm not sure how it's working at the other campuses, but at our campus, the infants and toddlers are dropped off at our back door. So we actually get to see the parents, and the parents can peek in the window for about 10 seconds before they have to hightail across the park and the playground and let the next parent in. So we have taken to also decorating our back window with some of the things that we're doing, and we spotlit. We showcased.
There you go.
We featured each one of the teachers in our classroom. We have our picture, our headshot, and then just why we are doing what we're doing, how long we've been at Suzuki, what our outside interests are, some of the things that we normally would communicate and drop off and pick up, especially since the infant class has a lot more dialogue day to day than the other classrooms. And we're just trying to get those minutes in at the door. I look sideways and I'm a talker, so kind of give a quick look and see if we can say a few more things that way. Because you are absolutely right. It's so hard not being able to see, and you want to know the special things, or, if there's a song that's really been fun in our classroom, we'll make sure that we do the video and post it on Instagram. And I don't always love my video on Instagram. I say, please highlight the children, not me shaking. But we've had a few parents say, what was actually the name of that song? Because that was so much fun. We want to do it at our house. So we're trying to just come up with more and more things just to make sure that everyone is seeing what is happening in our little piece of our day.
You all are so creative. It amazes me.
I'm going to put that
I
out
love that.
I'll have
It is
what we
beautiful.
love, and we all have, I will never fold laundry, but I'll always do the dishwasher, things like that. I'll sing, but I'm not doing the book. We give and take a lot.
I have duty calls. I have to go. It was lovely. Thank you. I will check with everybody for more ideas. And trust me, this is our beginning on this new challenge. So we're going to become good in time if we do not satisfy all the time. All the kids are helping us. They give us ideas. They want to show to the parents everything. So we are trying to catch up with the today.
Stronger every day.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Roxana.
much.
Well, you guys are doing an awesome job. So
Thank you
don't
so
let
much.
the suggestions make you think that you're not.
No, we
We
always
just
make
are
more.
good.
It's like a project. They always want a different project. Everything is good.
Suggestions are great because we get into that mindset, and then somebody says an idea and we think, oh, we didn't think of trying it that way. So it's the more ideas, the better. And we figure out what works best for our situation. Absolutely.
I have a question.
Sure.
My name is Irina, and my kid is almost 3. We are at primary 3 at Northside, and we had the situations with masks. Unfortunately, beginning of all the virus situation, we had a severe ear infection. So we couldn't do any surgery because they closed all the hospitals and everything. So we were every weekend on the urgent care. So we had to wear our masks. So basically our kid was with the idea that I'm sick, that's why I'm wearing the mask, just because I need to do go to the hospital or just because of the surgery. So our primary concern was when we move up to the primary 3, wearing a mask, because he was so afraid of mask. He was like, no, I'm not sick, I'm not wearing mask. And our teacher that we met via Zoom, Miss Rebecca, said, helped us, support a lot. And she said, don't worry, guys. You just introduce it at home, help him put mask on your faces, and leave the most of the work on us. We will help. We will do our best. And after 3 weeks, our kid is wearing mask without crying. He's just like proud, hey, I'm wearing mask. So which is the best way to say thank you to the teacher for like those their effort and their great work?
That's really sweet. I'm glad to hear that. And I was thinking in my mind, having him play and get comfortable around, the mask and the different uses for it. So I'm glad to hear that worked out really well. And I think, sending them an email they would really appreciate just hearing your, feedback and saying, and how thankful you are that has, he's worked through that. And that's kind of an example of what I was talking about. That's a speed bump, and you guys worked through it in a beautiful way. And I think just send them a little email. They would really be grateful and appreciative to hear that from you.
And maybe consider copying the director and assistant director of the campus on that email.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Hillary. Yes. That's part of our good communication, is that I always, is that we, copy our directors and assistant directors and keep everybody in the loop and informed. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that can be misinterpreted, sometimes, like, like you're oversharing, or why does it have to be, why there have to be 6 people on an email? Why is that, necessary? But it just keeps, it strengthens the partnership. It just keeps everybody, informed.
Well, and I just feel like in so many circumstances, people only share feedback when it's negative. So it's so nice that you're going to take the time to share feedback that's positive. And, I feel like the directors and assistant directors especially are just dealing with so much that's consuming just to even keep the school open safely. So to have a little email in that inbox, it's like, wow, this classroom is doing an awesome job with something really important.
Yes.
Just kind of is a little nice, refreshing break
You are-
from the
You are
weight
so
that's
right.
on their shoulders.
Yes, they would be very, very appreciative to hear that.
Thank you, ladies. Just
Yeah.
because I was thinking how the best way to communicate, because I would like that really the lead on our north side knows that was something extra, because she did everything. I mean, not just by herself, with other teachers, I guess, but we did just like 20% the work at home. So she did everything like by herself, and that helped us a lot.
Yeah. Great job there. Great teamwork.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
It makes me happy to hear something happy. I think that ties back full circle into what I mentioned earlier about sharing the celebratory moments as well as the challenges. Because from a teacher's perspective, it's a great way to build common ground just as people. People love happy things, and now more than ever, we need it. So I think that a phone call and email, however you choose to share, they'll be absolutely thrilled to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, I just thank you guys so much for coming together today to talk about this topic. I really appreciate all our teachers for coming on, and of course, we always appreciate you parents for participating and really bringing this together. It's really what makes these relationships strong and really makes this partnership work for you, for your family, and for your child. So thank you guys so much, and take care. You guys have a great day. Appreciate everybody coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye everybody. Thanks so much.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.